This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
First down, handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Buried, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
Here are Mickey Spagnola, Brian Broadus, Rob Phillips, and Bill Jones.
And it is a fabulous Football Friday edition of Talking Cowboys as we get you set for a big football weekend. And the Cowboys and the Lions, a trip to the Motor City tomorrow. Cowboys and Lions at noon on Sunday. Bill Jones with Mickey Spagnola and Rob Phillips. We're on Texas 21 in Dallas-Fort Worth as well. And, of course, every day we are here on DallasCowboys.com from 11 a.m. until around noon or 11:45. Most days go closer to noon today on a Friday because there's so much to get to. Gentlemen, how are you doing on this fabulous Football Friday?
I'm great.
Great to hear.
I'm fantastic, Bill.
All right. So it's a fabulous, it's a fantastic, it's a Football Friday, and it's beautiful weather here in Frisco, Texas.
I want to be with the kids on the day trips here.
The field trips.
I mean, all the grade school kids walking around.
There's a whole bunch of activity around the Star today.
I want a field trip.
I never got to do something that cool when I was that age, man.
No kidding.
Of course, the Star wasn't here, but we never did anything fun.
So
like
what'd
that.
you do for a field trip?
We went.
I can't even remember what we did that was cool.
We went to the planetarium. Nimitz High School had a planetarium in Irving, and we went to the planetarium. So we looked at the stars. That was the only field trip I can ever remember.
We got to take bus trips to downtown Chicago and go to the Museum of Science and Industry, the Field Museum, and the planetarium, by the way. Those were our field trip, and you had to bring a brown bag lunch, right?
Yep.
That's what they used to call it.
Okay, it's a brown bag lunch edition of a fabulous football field trip Friday.
They didn't take us to the White Sox game or anything.
Okay, enough of that. Let's get into Cowboys and Lions, or do we start with Thursday night football and what happened at the end of that game last night?
Oh, boy.
Did you see it live?
No, I saw it this morning, actually. My Aggie buddy is in some hot water up there in Cleveland.
Yes, Myles Garrett, who, for those of you who don't live in the North Texas area, he is from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, went to Martin High School in Arlington. In fact, in 2013, he was our Landry Award winner as the top high school football player in North Texas.
Sportsman of the Year.
And it is sponsored by the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And,
They did announce the 32 nominees for the Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award yesterday. I'm not sure who the Browns representative is, but I doubt it's.
Or they've rescinded his nomination.
It's
right?
Byron Jones for the Cowboys. I don't know who Cleveland's is.
You want to? I didn't see it. I turned the game off. I said, "This is over. I'm
you have
done."
heard about it,
But
and you have seen it since.
And I've read it about it. Yeah, maybe we should explain to everybody what happened.
Well, there it is. For those of you watching along here on DallasCowboys.com and Texas 21, you'll see it again right there as Myles Garrett pulls the helmet off Mason Rudolph and swats him over the top of the head with it.
So, I have a funny story for you.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it just so happened today's T-shirt. Remember, we get a different T-shirt on a former player or whatever, and today is Randy White, if you guys can make that out. I don't know if you can or not. So, 1985.
You can't pull it out of the bag and show that it's a T-shirt?
It's probably all plastic and tied in there. So, 1985, preseason game, August.
That's right.
Yeah,
I remember this. I know where you're going with this.
So
that
the Cowboys are at Texas Stadium playing the Chicago Bears. And the Bears at that time were actually the tough guys, right? So I think the Cowboys thought, well, we better show them we're tough. So first quarter, they get in
preseason
a preseason game. They get in a tussle. Randy White, by the way,
the Manster,
and Keith Van Horn of the Bears get into this little tussle, and Randy yanks his helmet off. And then Mark Bortz,
Van Horn's
guard,
helmet off.
Yeah, yep. And Mark Bortz comes over to help Van Horn, and Randy takes the helmet and bops him on top of the head.
We've got video of that.
Like same thing?
But his helmet was on, though, at least. Bortz's helmet was on. He used Van Horn's helmet to hit
he didn't use
Bortz.
it on Van Horn's head.
He used it on Bortz, right? And so a big melee starts. He gets kicked out of the game.
I was going to say back then it probably wasn't even a penalty.
Well, here's what happened. So to show you how times have changed, Randy got kicked out of the game, and he got fined $1,000.
Oh, wow.
Now we're talking about this guy being thrown out of the league for the rest of the year, right?
At CBS 11, we have video of that. And basically, when Randy was on our Cowboys Game Day show on Sunday mornings,
well, you have to bring it out Sunday.
That's exactly right. Unfortunately, Randy's not on the show
that's right.
anymore, but we can still bring it out.
And so the very next play, Ed Too Tall Jones and Van Horn get into it, and Too Tall's got a death grip on his face mask, and he's pulling it, right? 5 Bears got fined $300 in that game, and I think there was 3 Cowboy players fined $300. But
$300,
but Randy got fined $1,000.
$1,000.
So I remember asking
I wonder what his salary
him,
was then.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And so afterwards, the next day in the locker room, or the next time we were in the locker room, Randy's telling the story, right, and what happened and why he got all mad. And John Dutton's sitting in there, and John Dutton has the loudest baritone voice you ever hear, right? And all of a sudden, Dutton goes, "Well, Randy, why don't you tell him the rest of the story?" And Randy's like, "No, we don't need to get into that." He goes, "Oh, yes, we do." Randy yelled at him when he left the field, "And I'll meet you in the parking lot after the game."
Sounds like Randy White.
Yeah, that's exactly right. What Randy would always say, "I'm just glad social media wasn't around when I was playing."
There was a reason they called him the Manster, right?
Those stories, the Pro Bowl stories in Hawaii were...
Oh, that was the next year.
Yeah, were pretty remarkable. Yeah,
absolutely.
So,
and then they had
to
play one more time. Remember in the stories before the game where the fight's going to break out or whatever. So this was the Bears Super Bowl year, right?
Yeah, they did play.
Got beat 44 to nothing.
That's when the Bears collectively pulled the Cowboys' helmets off and beat them over the head. That's 44 to nothing, right?
And that was a NFC East division-winning team, by the way.
Oh yeah. The Cowboys were that year, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Didn't play like it that day. All right, so the standard in 1985 was $1,000, no suspension. What is the standard in 2019, you think, for Myles Garrett? What do you think he's going to get?
Well, the report, I think, from Adam Schefter just a minute ago, and this is this morning, minimum rest of the season, including playoff suspension.
So that's 6 games left in the regular season.
More than that,
I think that's what ESPN reported.
They've played 10 games. They're 4-6.
They've played 10. That's right, this week. Yeah.
So they've got 6 games left in the regular season.
Well, that's what the dude got for Gerard's face grading.
Albert Haynesworth,
right?
Did he get? I looked it up and it said 5-game suspension.
Well, somebody when we were talking,
and I was thinking it was 6, but then I Googled it and it said 5.
Boy,
so
we were there for that one. That was 06 in Tennessee, and boy, that was a nasty cut that Andre got.
Because the guy, if you guys don't know, he got up and Andre was on the ground without his helmet, and he stepped on his face with his cleats.
I'm looking at an ESPN story from 2006. And it says he got an unprecedented 5-game suspension.
Okay.
I was thinking last night when it happened, and I think on all of these you need to, and this is a reason that the league gives it a few days before they announce a suspension to make sure that you cover everything, and you let the emotion of the moment pass also. I was thinking, people were saying, "Oh, you got to suspend him for the rest of the season," and I thought, well, it's at least the rest of the season. The question is, how far into next season does it go? That's what I was thinking last night, and
especially in lieu of what happened earlier in the game when the guy got hit in the head with the helmet, two helmets from each side, and he was bleeding in his ear.
Well, a couple of receivers for the Steelers got it, and they were targeting plays. I didn't see them myself,
but he got hit twice. One's from the left side, one's from the right side.
I was just thinking about from us from a reporting standpoint. And you're in the press box, and that happens. Everything that's happened the last 3 hours is meaningless.
That's right.
The narrative of that game, nobody cares about what happened.
And how about for the Browns? They now have 2 straight wins. They're up to 4-6.
Yeah,
and they're thinking they got Miami in 10 days. They're going to be 5-6, and they're going to make this great playoff push. And they just lost their best defensive player.
Yeah, and in lieu of. The NFL is so sensitive to the concussion matter,
right? And Mason Rudolph had the the concussion just a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I mean, they can't have that in their game. They just can't do it. And I just imagine if somebody did that to Dak Prescott, the uproar in Dallas. And by all accounts, Myles Garrett, like I said, he went to A&M. Everybody says great things about him.
Writes poetry.
He lost it. He lost it, and he's probably going to pay for it with a heavy fine and suspension, most
And
likely.
a lesson to quarterbacks who might get their helmet yanked off: don't go back at the guy.
Well, that's another element of that.
Because he was going back at him.
They've got to look at it as well. All right, we get more into that, and we get into Cowboys and Lions when Talking Cowboys continues in a moment.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Cowboys continues now as we get you ready for the Cowboys and the Lions, and the breaking news across the National Football League as we speak regards Myles Garrett and the incident last night. I'm just poring over some tweets that are coming out right now. You had seen something, Rob, a moment ago about the suspension. In fact, I've got it right here.
Yeah.
The Steelers and Browns organizations have each been fined $250,000, and three players, Cleveland's Myles Garrett and Larry Ogunjobi.
Was he the one that shoved Rudolph in the back?
Rudolph in the back after it all was happening. And Pittsburgh's Marquise Pouncey have been suspended without pay for their actions in Thursday night's game. Garrett has been suspended without pay indefinitely at a minimum for the remainder of the regular season and postseason, and must meet with the commissioner's office prior to a decision on his reinstatement. He was also fined an additional amount. Garrett violated unnecessary roughness and unsportsmanlike conduct rules, as well as fighting, removing the helmet of an opponent, and using the helmet as a weapon. Pouncey has been suspended without pay for 3 games, so he will not be there unless he is able to appeal it and get it shortened when the Browns head to Pittsburgh here in a couple of weeks. And he was fined an additional amount for fighting, including punching and kicking an opponent. Ogunjobi has been suspended without pay for 1 game and fined an additional amount for unnecessary roughness, specifically for shoving an opposing player to the ground during an altercation. Additional discipline for other players will be forthcoming through the standard accountability process, including those players that left the bench to enter the fight area. Under the CBA, the suspensions may be appealed within 3 business days. Appeals are heard and decided by so on. So
Yeah, they're probably appealed by later today.
yeah.
It's got a Malice at the Palace feel to it with all the everything they're going to hand out punishment-wise. And again, it's for a league that's so focused on player safety, they've got to send a message here.
Right,
and
they needed
that's
to
obviously
do it
what
quickly
they're thinking.
because of the notoriety of the incident and so forth.
It's on national TV, prime time.
I mean, they had to, and I thought that makes sense as far as the Garrett one. suspend indefinitely without pay for now, and then you do your hearings and everything and figure it out. I mean,
Now,
for sure for the rest of the season.
Miles
and
Garrett.
Then see what happens.
Not Jason Garrett, just in case you're joining us from break.
Now,
Miles Garrett of the Browns.
What was Pouncey's?
3 games.
But what did he do?
Well, he was kicking at Garrett when he was down on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So.
MMA.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. And the other part of it, there was just 8 seconds left in the game. I mean, when you look at the context of it,
That's why I turned it off.
Yeah.
Game was over.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
It was just beginning.
Yeah.
That's right.
I learned that lesson a long time ago. Don't ever leave a game early and don't ever turn it off early because you never know.
Yeah. But I do think, as Mickey brought up Albert Haynesworth in the last segment, that was the previous most notable on-field rage incident, and the 5-game suspension in 2006 for Haynesworth. Well, this has now become the largest suspension for a player for an on-field behavior.
Andre better watch out and not walk past the locker room. Everybody is going to want to interview him.
He'll be news
right.
today. Yeah,
That's exactly right. Yep.
Who's, by the way, here, if guys don't know, he's a kind of assistant coach on the field,
working with
in the scouting
defensive
department. Defensive lineman.
Yeah, defensive lineman. All right, so
yes.
Let's
Speaking
move
of
on
injuries.
to Cowboys and Lions, and how about anything we've got on the injury front there?
Well, we know that Matthew Stafford sounds like he is out. Is that what Matt Patricia has announced?
Reportedly, although we'll see the injury report today, see if they actually rule him out. Come out later today.
Sounds like he hasn't practiced all week. I know he didn't practice Wednesday and Thursday, and if that came out today, he probably didn't practice again today.
An hour ago, Mike Rothstein tweeted, Matt Patricia said he doesn't anticipate Matthew Stafford playing this weekend.
So that means Jeff Driscoll. They've got some other injuries that they've got to deal with, too. Their starting safety, Tracy Walker, hasn't practiced all week with a knee, and earlier in the week, his backup, Miles Killebrew, was he was limited with a concussion. Now, it says here he was full yesterday, so he must have got cleared. They're running back now. They're down to Ty Johnson. He's got a concussion.
Rookie 6th-round draft pick out of Maryland.
Okay, and he didn't practice Wednesday, was limited yesterday. So today, I bet they're looking to see if he had any ill effect from practicing. And if he can't go, then McKissick, I think.
J.D. McKissick,
I wouldn't have known his first name, so thank you.
A converted wide receiver, I believe.
One of their starting tackles, Rick Wagner, has been out these last 2 games with 2 days with a concussion.
So Tyrell Crosby filled in for him 56 snaps a week ago, and he is a 5th-round draft pick last year. Right tackle.
Bill's got his
That's right. I'm ready for this
board
game.
ready to go.
That's right. So.
And then Deshaun Hand, one of their backup defensive ends with an ankle, he didn't practice either day. So he may be out also. So they've got some injury problems they got to deal with.
Every team in the league's got injury problems, including this team.
The Cowboys, or you got something?
Well, I'm just going to mention Driscoll. Watching the Bears game last week, Detroit against Chicago, I thought he did some nice things. He didn't have much practice time during the week, but I thought he was pretty poised back there. And they did some things to kind of get him comfortable, move in the pocket. I bet with a full week of practice, if he does in fact start, he'll probably be a little more comfortable. And he's made starts in the league. But when they have guys that can go get the football for him. They really do.
I mean,
we've mentioned some of them during the week. Danny Amendola, who was here before he started his, terrific career. Galladay is like this generation's version of Calvin Johnson in terms of just a big, explosive wide receiver.
He leads the league as wide receivers in touchdowns with 8.
With 8, I mean, you talk about a red zone target. He can just go get it. Marvin Jones can do it too.
And Marvin Jones is a big receiver too.
Yeah.
Both are rangy receivers.
This is why the Cowboys invested in draft picks and guys like Cheeto and Byron to be able to go up against bigger receivers like this. Hawkinson, the tight end, was highly regarded coming out of college. They've got guys that can go get the football. Like you said, though, guys, the running game without Kerryon Johnson, they haven't found stability there.
Oh, man, I heard the guy interviewed this morning on The Fan. He does basically that for one of the Detroit radio stations. I was thinking I was going to pick the Cowboys 24-21 to win. By the time that guy got done, I was up to 31-17.
So he was a negative Nelly about the Lions?
Oh, man, he was just killing them. They can't do this. They can't do that. They're this, they're that. Ownership's horrible. They don't have any players. And he went on and on and on. And I'm going, oh, my gosh, could it be that bad?
Well, and, they've played 9 games. And they're 3-5-1, and 8 of their 9 games have been decided by a touchdown or less. But you had Matthew Stafford for the first 8 games. Now,
right.
Having said that, last week they played Chicago and they lost by a touchdown.
Yep.
So that continued that trend. But if you have followed Chicago Bears football here in the last month or so, then you know that they have not been an offensive juggernaut,
right.
to say the least.
And they scored all of 20 points this game.
Yeah.
Boy, that was an outbreak for them.
That's right, yeah.
So the key thing here with Driscoll is do not let him get comfortable in the pocket. You got to go get him. I don't want to see a Sam Darnold thing again where he's back there, looking around, got time to throw a 92-yard touchdown pass. They got to get after Driscoll and make him uncomfortable.
And be mindful of his ability to scramble. They'll do design runs, and he'll also scramble for yardage. He led him in rushing last week. So, that says a lot about, the running game has not been what they wanted. But he can do. Cowboys actually had him at the Senior Bowl in 2016, coaching him as part of the North squad. So they're somewhat familiar with him.
So I interviewed that guy.
So they had Carson Wentz and Jeff Driscoll, who finished up his college career at La Tech after starting it at Florida. And, of course, Dak Prescott was on the other sideline that week. All right, we continue with more of Talking Cowboys in just a moment.
Essilor is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, helping fans see more and do more with our best vision solutions. Our lens technologies reveal a world more beautiful than you can imagine. For a limited time, get the Essilor Next Gen offer. When you buy the latest generation of Transitions lenses with select Essilor lenses, you can choose a second pair of clear lenses for free with qualifying frame purchases. Restrictions apply. Find a participating eye care professional by visiting EssilorUSA.com. Essilor. See more, do more.
Ready? Okay. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. What's that spell?
So.
Are we gonna win?
Not if we play like we cheered.
Just okay is not okay. Whether it's cheerleaders or your wireless network, AT&T is America's best wireless network. Best network based on GWS One score September 2019.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Do you want the most interesting, up-to-the-minute Dallas Cowboys news straight from the Star in Frisco? How about exclusive and on command? That's right, news and nuggets you can't find anywhere else. With our exclusive Cowboys content on Alexa, you can have all the answers, secrets, stories, and more. What's Stephen Jones thinking during a game? What's Joe Looney's favorite pregame meal? We take your questions to Cowboys players and coaches, and you can hear the answers directly back to you. Just say, Alexa, open Dallas Cowboys.
I'm Jay Novacek, former tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. Back in the day, I was the guy who always got the tough yards, and that's why I run with John Deere today. In fact, I have a John Deere 3025E tractor that can handle any yard work I need to do, even the tough yards way out back. So if you have 1 acre or 1,000, John Deere has the equipment that's just right for you. Visit a John Deere dealer today and run with us. We are the official tractor provider of your Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
The Cowboys will host the third annual Christmas at the Star presented by Albertsons and Tom Thumb from November 22nd through December 21st. So that's starting next Friday, November 22nd. Taking place at the Star in Frisco. Enjoy free, family-friendly events throughout the holiday season, including the Christmas Spectacular presented by Albertsons and Tom Thumb, and the opportunity to take a photo with Santa Claus. For more information, visit thestarinfrisco.com. I was on Tostitos Championship Plaza last evening, in fact, hosting a high school football playoff preview show, and it felt like Christmas around there. The Christmas tree was all lit up, the blue Christmas tree that they have on the plaza there. There was a high school game going on inside Ford Center, and it's just a great place to come throughout the holiday season and get that feeling of the holidays. And so
Anybody
forth.
throw any footballs at you?
Well, yeah, there's kids. It was chilly, though. I mean, it felt like it was about 30 degrees, but it was 50 degrees. Once the sun goes down, it was pretty chilly out there, but those kids were running around. They love playing on that field on Tostitos Championship Plaza.
That tree looks amazing. It looks like you feel like you're in Rockefeller Center or something. It's something to go see if you're around here.
And you got the hotel there, and you've got all the restaurants and bars and so forth. It's just a great place to come. I was thinking, does downtown Dallas still have their New Year's Eve celebration down there in Victory Plaza? I don't know if they still have that.
I don't think they've had it in recent years.
I'll throw this idea out.
Yeah,
this would be a great place to have a New Year's Eve celebration here at the Star in Frisco. Have some fireworks.
I bet you get a bonus for that suggestion.
Putting the marketing cap
okay,
on. I like it.
Just keep in mind,
Bill's
I'm the first
one
to
say
suggest that. New Year's Eve at the Star in Frisco. Okay?
They've got a lot of room there.
Yeah, you could have an event going on because you also have indoors where you could have things going on inside Ford Center as well.
And if they could construct a tree that big, they can figure out how to drop a ball.
Drop a ball.
Just drop a football, right?
No, I'm not going to go there. It was too easy.
Be careful. Be careful.
There have been players in the past who could perform that for you there,
Drop
Vicky.
a football.
Oh, boy.
All right. We're going to take your phone calls as well. 888-855-2297. Get your thoughts on this Cowboys-Lions game. And how big a game is this? I mean, you think about the Patriots next week. It's a Cowboys team that...
You said it too soon. Steven just walked by.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Okay. New Year's Eve at the Star in Frisco. I just said it again. But it's just a huge game for the Cowboys.
Yes, absolutely.
Y'all care to chime in on that?
No. I was looking at the injury report for the Cowboys.
Well, you can go there too.
I'll get it there, but everybody asking if this is a must-win, but I think it's a need-to-win game. Mathematically, it's not a must-win. You got still got 7 games to go, but I think they need to win this one in lieu of what's coming up after it, having to go to New England, play the Bills on a short week, and then have to go to Chicago. So you would like to do that 2 games above 500, and so this is a game they need to win, especially after coming so close last week. You don't want that to start being a trend.
It's a need badly to win.
Mm-hmm.
It's not must win, and we'll see what happens with Philly the rest of the way. Obviously, these teams meet again December 22nd, I think, and that very well could decide the division. But right now, you got to take care of business, and Philly seems to have found something. So you got to think they're not going anywhere in this division race. Bill, yesterday we were talking on the show how if you look at the numbers with this Cowboys team, statistically, they're doing a lot of things right. They got the top-ranked offense. They got a top 7 defense. They're getting off the field on third down. They're converting third downs. They just haven't put consistent games together across the board with the exception of a game like Philly right before the bye. They're capable of it. If they can do that, they can beat anybody in this league, and that includes the Lions this Sunday. That includes at New England next week. But they've got to find that consistency, not just from the start, from the finish as well, in every phase.
Cowboys are practicing inside Ford Center as we speak, and the first team offensive line today, left tackle is Tyron Smith, the left guard Xavier Suafilo, the center Travis Frederick, the right guard Zach Martin, and the right tackle Lyle Collins.
It's a good sign.
He said Collins was going to do something today, so that's encouraging that those guys are back out on the field like that. Cameron Fleming has also practiced this week. You remember he missed the last 2 games straining a calf during the bye week. So that's encouraging, and I'm told that the backup guard now with Su'a-Filo starting will be Joe Looney, and they'll have Looney able to back up at both spots, and that might and probably save them one guy on the 46 because they've been keeping 8 offensive linemen, which is usually one more than necessary. They may be back to 7 now in this game. So, Amari Cooper's been practicing, and he was supposed to do a little something again today, so they'll get him to the game. C.J. Goodwin was out early in the week. He was limited yesterday, so that was encouraging. I think the one guy that's somewhat a question at this point, and we know Connor Williams is out, right? He had his knee scoped. That's why Bill said Su'a-Filo was at left guard. Jeff Heath's been dealing with not only that cut-up knee, which is cut up really bad, but the shoulder. And it was the shoulder that kept him limited in this past game against the Vikings to just special teams duty. They took him off the field at strong safety.
It's both shoulders, right, Mick?
Yeah, both shoulders he's having problems with, and I heard that it's something they're going to have to deal with the rest of the season. So be interesting to see what he's able to do in this game. Darian Thompson took over for him in that game against the Vikings, so he would be next man up if he can't go.
And he had 66 snaps against the Vikings last week. Darian Thompson did. And I like, he basically played the whole game because Heath played 10 snaps on defense last week. I like what I've seen from Darian Thompson. He's flashed in his opportunities to play. Of course, he played earlier in the season against the Giants when Xavier Woods was out.
People ask us a lot about Donovan Wilson, the rookie safety. Why doesn't he play more? Darian Thompson's the reason, because they like his experience. They like how he's a good decision maker back there, and he plays pretty physical. So a little bit more experience. I think that's why he's higher on the depth chart than Wilson in the event that Heath can't go or is limited.
And let me correct that. It was against Miami that when Woods was out.
Yeah, and guys like Thompson, Goodwin, you mentioned Wilson, those guys will be important on special teams too. Yeah. If Heath can't go or even if he's limited, they probably don't want him on every special team, which he is as a starter or most of them anyway. So that'll be important.
All right, we continue with more Talking Cowboys in just a moment.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Talking Cowboys continues from the Star in Frisco. The Cowboys with one of those rare noon Sunday games. You know, back in the day, the Cowboys used to play all the time at noon. And it's not so much of course, the Cowboys have always been, since the since the 70s, America's team, but the networks have included more late afternoon and primetime games, so we don't get very many noon games on a Sunday. When you travel with the team, you like those, in this case in Detroit, 1 o'clock kickoffs, don't you?
Oh, it's great. It's probably, a 2-hour flight back?
You can get back by 9 o'clock that night?
Yeah, you sacrifice an early morning to get home early.
Are you staying out late? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, you know me. Yeah, I'm just crazy.
He's probably going to Windsor.
Yeah, you do have that option in Detroit.
It is an option. I like Detroit.
Back in the day, those noon games were tough.
Yeah, I bet. Pull an all-nighter the night before.
Were they, Nick?
Yes,
they were tough on you?
Yeah,
you have some stories to tell? Are you happy there wasn't social media back in the day?
Probably, yes.
All right, let's go to the phone lines. We've got Kevin in Ohio. You're up on Talking Cowboys. Hello, Kevin.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I have a quick question because I think this game is really important. If you look at Jason Garrett's tenure here from 2010 to 19, his percentage of winning against good teams is around 37%. And per our schedule, we got 5 of those on our schedule remaining in the season. I'd like to get you guys hear what your thoughts on that. The late starts, not too concerned about that. It's football. If anyone coached or played a game, sometimes you just go through that. I know everyone's complaining about it, but to me, on the slow starts, I think that will come. I think it's a lot to do with the new offensive coordinator. I think it's just time. It's just a lot of mistakes. I mean, I don't blame that on the coaches like everyone else does. I believe that's more of a team altogether. But my biggest concern is the way we are attacked or play against winning teams. 37% is not very good. If you look at that, the last 5 games we're losing a lot more than we're winning in those. That stays in 10. So I'm going to hang up, listen to what you guys say. Have a great day, and thank you for always.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Any thoughts?
Till I see the 37%, I don't know if I'm buying it.
Well, okay, they've beat how many teams with a winning record?
Well,
have
this
they
year.
This year.
Yeah, this year.
Yeah.
How many did they beat last year?
I'd have to go back. And look at it.
Well, how many did they beat in 2016 when they went 13-3 with a backup rookie quarterback? Actually, a third-string rookie.
How many road games they win that year?
I think almost all of them.
I think it was 8-0 on the road.
They've been competitive in every game. They've shown they can play with any team. It's finishing games, and there's a lot of games last year. They went 10-6 last year.
Yes,
so many games that could have gone either way. I think they
were the league.
I think they were 8-2 in games decided by touchdown or less.
Yes,
and they're 0-3 this year. Sometimes it just swings back the other way, and I know everybody wants to play the blame game this week, and that's fair. When you lose a game, what went wrong? A lot of different things went wrong in the game. There was some miscommunication with the players and the coaching staff, with the Tavon fair catch, all that. All those,
there wasn't much miscommunication because I think he was basically told to fair catch it.
Right, but they would have preferred to also add on to that communication that, hey, if you see the green grass that he saw, take it,
I'm not sure he saw it either, by the way.
Well, regardless. What I'm saying is a lot of these games, they come down to those 1 or 2 or 3 plays. They just got to be able to finish games and start better too, but they've shown they're capable of it. Now you got to go do it, obviously.
Right. Yeah. It's not like they're getting wiped out. I mean, even the game they got beat by 10 points, you make that field goal from 33 yards, you're down a touchdown, and you can onside kick, right?
Right, and the slow start was turnovers.
Yeah,
otherwise that thing's a close game all throughout the game. Michael in Ottawa, Canada, you're next up here on Talking Cowboys. Hello, Michael.
Yes, hi, happy Friday, Talking Cowboys, gentlemen.
Hey, is the river already frozen?
Yeah,
I'm gonna do that.
We've got snow on the ground. It's probably 3 to 4 inches on my front lawn already. And it's minus 15 Celsius here today.
That's on my bucket list to go to Ottawa and skate
you want to go to the Rideau Canal, right, Mickey?
Yeah. Suddenly
I'm on the Rideau Canal.
Suddenly I'm feeling a little toasty in here all of a sudden. That's great. Makes me feel better.
I want to skate on that thing.
15 Celsius. What's that Fahrenheit?
Frig, I don't know. I don't have my
I've got it
converter
at
up on the
35
screen.
degrees right now. So
yeah, that'd be about right.
Okay.
Sorry to distract you. What do you got?
Okay, listen, guys, I just want to know where is our friend Brian Broadus?
Yeah, I think you're probably going to have to ask him.
Okay, because I've been tweeting a few of the personalities on the network, and I haven't been able to get an answer. And I hope he's doing all right. I hope he's not sick or something. Or
yeah, again, I think you're going to have to ask him.
Okay, thanks, Mickey. Listen, we got to beat Detroit, right?
Yeah.
This has got to this nonsense. We got to. I mean, the potential of this team. With all the talent we have, there's no reason we shouldn't have a better record.
Absolutely. Should be at least 2 games better.
That our kicker, if he was still stuck in the CFL, he would belong to the worst team in the CFL. The Ottawa Red Blacks went, I think they had 3 wins this season, 3-15 or something in an 18-game schedule. So he's been saved.
When did they change their name to the Red Blacks? I thought they were the Rough Riders.
When they incorporated the new franchise in 2014.
Okay.
Yeah, they used to be the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Right.
Jason Garrett was on that squad in '91, I believe. He's another one that got rescued. Good thing, because that team went bankrupt, right?
Oh, it did?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Ontario government took it over. It was a limited corporation. It was really embarrassing.
We're talking Ottawa Red Blacks here on Talking Cowboys. Got anything else on the Cowboys?
Now, what are they? The Red what?
The Red Blacks.
It's
Blacks. Like the red black, that sweater that the lumberjacks wear, that jacket.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where they got their name from, because Ottawa was a logging town, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day when it was founded, like E.B. Eddie's paper mill and all that good stuff.
So what's on your mind for Sunday?
Well, we just got to beat the Lions. They don't have Matthew Stafford starting. I think we got a good opportunity to get out there and beat them and get back on track. Because the Eagles, like you said, guys, they're not going anywhere. And, it might come down to that last game on December 22nd. Be a nice Christmas present, right? To get it wrapped up and win the division 2 years in a row.
You got one more after that. You got Washington after that. But that's one. Yeah, that's one you circle for sure.
And right now we're focused on trying to make it a happy Thanksgiving here.
That's right.
All right, we appreciate it, Michael. Stay warm up there in Ottawa.
Weekend. Safe travels to Detroit. Okay.
Appreciate it.
And we'll listen to you on Monday.
All right. When we return here on Talking Cowboys, we've got our picks to click and our picks to win this all-important game. Or is it all-important? When we come back.
Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Want to show your Texas and team pride too? You can. By purchasing your own Stetson, you can look just like how the flag guys do on field at every home game. Stetson hats, the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys, and your favorite football team. Get yours today in the Stadium Pro Shop or at Stetson.com.
Ready? Okay. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. What's that spell?
So.
Are we gonna win?
Not if we play like we cheered.
Just okay is not okay. Whether it's cheerleaders or your wireless network, AT&T is America's best wireless network. Best network based on GWS One score September 2019.
Essilor is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, helping fans see more and do more with our best vision solutions. Our lens technologies reveal a world more beautiful than you can imagine. For a limited time, get the Essilor Next Gen offer. When you buy the latest generation of Transitions lenses with select Essilor lenses, you can choose a second pair of clear lenses for free with qualifying frame purchases. Restrictions apply. Find a participating eye care professional by visiting EssilorUSA.com. Essilor. See more, do more.
So, you're shopping, and that's when you see it. Aisle 23.
Dr. Pepper stacked from top to bottom as far as the eye can see. The phrase too good to be true comes to mind, yet there it is. A rich, delicious Dr. Pepper paradise. Wait, did that can of Dr. Pepper just open itself for you? They all are. As if to say, so nice to treat you. And even though it feels weird to talk to a can, you pick one up and say, it's so nice to be treated. Dr. Pepper, so nice to treat you.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Well, since we've been talking Ottawa, just want you guys to know, or I'm asking, is winter cracking you up or drying you out?
This read always cracks me up.
Well, you need to go to Jack Black because they've got specials going this week because now it's time to prep against dry, chapped winter skin. You get free Winter Warriors with your $65 plus purchase. You get a nourishing oil along with Dry Erase Ultra Calming Face Cream. Go to getjackblack.com and use the code WINNER. You got to shop now.
You have multiple pages you're reading off of on that.
That's right.
So why is that?
Well, because it doesn't come in just one page. It comes in 3 pages, and you got to print them out.
You're multitasking very well.
That's right, yeah. Keep them in order, too.
Ladies, if you're listening or watching, it's such a great Christmas gift, holiday gift.
It is, especially for me.
For your husband, yes, absolutely. I love me some Jack Black.
That's right. All right, final few minutes here of Talking Cowboys as we get you set for the Cowboys and the Lions. We each week make our picks, and I think we did pretty well in our picks a week ago. I took Lyle Collins, and because he was matched up against my guy Daniil Hunter, and Hunter did not have a sack. He came close to having a sack. It was negated by, I believe, a defensive holding call against the Vikings, but I thought Collins held up well in that game. And the Cowboys, by the way, on the season have still just given up 11 sacks through 9 games.
Which is amazing when you consider they gave up 56 last year.
They didn't just give up 56. As Mickey has pointed out time and time again, they have given up 56 last year.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And then Rob had Randall Cobb. I thought that was a terrific pick last week.
I thought he was due. I mean, how many times are you going to have a touchdown called back by penalty? You know, he and Dak found a rhythm, and he said after the game, this is the best I've felt as a Cowboy. I feel like I'm in a zone right now. Maybe I should just ride the hot hand today.
And especially on 4th and 5, he was open over the middle.
See, he was even open when things were going haywire.
He would have had maybe the winning touchdown catch.
That's right. And, Mickey, you had Tank?
I had Demarcus Lawrence. He had a pretty active game.
Especially in the run game.
Right?
A lot.
They ended up with something like, I want to say 8 tackles maybe?
And Chasen plays down from the backside.
Chasen plays down. He saved on that screen pass. He
8
went
tackles.
Downfield. Yeah.
He had 8 tackles, 1 for loss.
Yeah, so he had a good game.
Okay.
So we're hot.
What about
so
this week?
Let's
about
keep it
Detroit
going.
now? Who's your pick to click?
I'll let Rob go first.
All right.
I don't want to rob his guy.
I'll be obvious, man. Amari Cooper, and obviously I think they're trying to manage him like they did last week, get him to the game, should be able to play and play well. I loved what Jason Witten said after the game last week. The guy is in a zone right now where you get to a point as a wide receiver where you feel like nobody can cover you, and that's what he can run any type of route. He obviously, the sideline is no barrier for him to make catches, and this Lions defense has given up some plays in the passing game. I like number 19 to play well again on Sunday.
I will go next, and I will take one Dakota Prescott. He has been playing at a career-high level. He's second in the league in yards passing. He's second in the league in average gain per attempt, and he's third in touchdowns. So he is playing with the big boys, and we need a big boy game from Dak Prescott on Sunday.
Another big boy game from Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go with the running back, Ezekiel Elliott, in this game.
That's a good pick because when Zeke has a game like he did last week, he usually doesn't have 2 in a row.
That's right.
So
That's
what do you
kind of my thinking on it.
What do you think Detroit's worried about? Do they think they can stop the run normally, and then they're going to bear down on the passing game?
They need to be worried about everything with their defense.
Yeah. Although, when you've got Snacks Harrison in the middle.
And I heard he's not playing well.
Well,
unfortunately.
He showed up in the game. There were times he showed up against Chicago. Just that
Did he?
Big, powerful body that's tough to block. Travis Frederick said it during the week. I look forward to the matchup, and I don't look forward to the matchup because of how tough he is strength-wise. But, yeah, I mean, they got to get Zeke going, right? I mean, he's still so vital to what they do offensively.
Just need to make Snacks run for his food, not go right to him.
Well said.
All right, and how about some picks on the game?
Go ahead, Mick.
I can't remember if I said this earlier in the show or if I said it on the fan, but I was going to pick Cowboys 24-21, and then I listened to some talk radio guy
you
from
said it
Detroit,
on this show.
And
about 20 minutes ago.
31-17 Cowboys.
You've expanded it, though, because earlier in this show you said about 31-20, and now you've taken away the field goal.
I meant to say 17 if I didn't say 17. I like to say consistent. I don't say one thing on the fan and then come in here and do something different.
Okay.
I'll go 30-20. I think the offense is in good position right now. Defensively, can they stop the run? When they tackle well and stop the run, this defense is usually in pretty good shape, and I think they can do that Sunday.
The Cowboys' scores this season. Here's something that's unique about the Cowboys' scores this season. They had a couple of games. In fact, they were consecutive games.
Can I guess?
Against Philadelphia and the New York Giants. They scored 37 points. Have the Cowboys ever had 3 games in a season where they've scored 37 points?
Have they ever had 2?
I don't know that they have, and I'm not going to do the research on it, but I am going to tell you this. They're about to have 3 games this season in which they score 37 points.
Woo!
And guess what my final score is?
37 to something?
37 to something. 37 to 7. Is my final score.
Well, Bill, if they score 37 points, then bet your house because they'll win.
Yes, they will win.
Because
with Jeff Driscoll at quarterback for the Lions.
If I recall...
I think we have 37 seconds left in this show.
All 5 games they've won, they scored at least 30 points.
There you go. You heard it here first. The Cowboys are winners if they get 37 points against the Lions, and we will talk at you again about this 37-point performance on Monday.
Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
First down, handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Buried, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
Here are Mickey Spagnola, Brian Broadus, Rob Phillips, and Bill Jones.